welcome back to TT News on Tuesday. I'm setting my phone to Do Not Disturb. Maybe you should do the same. So what's been happening this last week in the world of TTs? Well, you might remember last week we looked at the Humbert and Ellis auction for that lovely silver, not a Quattro, Audi TT. I sent them an inquiry yesterday, not heard anything back, and the auction finished last night, so let's see how it did, shall we? Here's the car in question. Well, it sold for £500. Who'd have thought it? Certainly not me. That is a shocker. And whoever bought it, if they bought it based on that description, thinking that it's a Quattro, and even more so thinking that it's a Quattro Sport, then more fool them for not doing a bit more research. But the description's really misleading, so they'd be well within their rights to, when they turn up, to have a look at it, to just go, this is not as described. I wonder if that'll happen. Who knows? I did realise that if we scroll all the way to the bottom here, I could have gone and visited them and asked the question directly, but I only realised this sort of late yesterday. Other content creators are now interested in TTs again. So yes, you've got the likes of me, Andy, Car Chris, there's a couple of guys over in America, there's a guy over in Ireland, Dom hasn't been doing videos on TTs for a while, but now it looks like we might get some TT content from the Top Dead Centre boys. Now, if you're not familiar with them, there's a pretty good channel. I've been keeping up to date on their recent escapades with the Lupo 3L, pretty good videos, boys. And they were talking about getting hold of a 3.2 convertible for one of their crew. So I think it's time to pop them a message and offer to lend a hand. Hi chaps, love their content. I'm a TT specialist with a small following, around 30,000 subscribers, and would love to help you find the right car. Right, message sent, even if it does include a major typo. Sorry about that, boys. Someone's going to have a laugh at that, aren't they? And this is probably just going to go to your spam, and you're probably not watching this. But you can't say I didn't try. That would be a collaboration I'd love to do, get involved. If they are going to get a Mark 1 TT, I'd love to be involved in that. Anyway, moving on. Tomorrow I will be prepping 3 vehicles that I own ready for MOT, so I will have a little bit of footage about those for separate videos. I have just filmed a video about the thermostat, I've filmed a video about Haldex. I'm going through with my lovely new camera that this is being filmed on and trying to re-record some of the old classics that I filmed 10 plus years ago, well 10 years ago, because that was when the thermostat video was done. This channel has just ticked over 10 years old, so. And that was the first one. So yeah, that is going to be a fun process. Tomorrow I do the prep, like I say, for the Silver Roadster and for the Silver Coupe and for my A4 Daily. I don't think that's going to need anything, but that's by the by. So yeah, next week I'll have news of whether they've passed the MOTs or not. Fingers crossed. So I'd like to just do a scroll through. I don't like the repairs, tips and procedures page, the Mark 1 TT tips, procedures, repairs, whatever, I can't remember the name of the forum. I don't like that page because there seems to be a lot of people on there offering advice that don't really know what they're doing. And the last time I got into this, taking the mick out of people, that's not really the best thing to do, is it? Even though I thought it was quite tame compared to what I have done in the past. Anyway. I sort of hear what the guy was saying, so I'm going to be positive this week. We'll see what happens next week. All I was going to do was just scroll through the forum and community page and see if there is anything that I can answer live to do with questions that people are asking. So let's go for most recent activity. Hi all, this is Phil Dutton. I'm looking to add oil pressure and temp gauges to my TT. Has anyone that's done this have recommendations or a list of fittings parts needed? I would go with the stack gauges, and I'll reply that now. I would go with stack gauges. They're great looking and do the job well. Easiest way to add the oil. It is oil and booze that he was looking at, wasn't it? Oil pressure and temp gauge. Okay, oil pressure and temp. Here's where to add the oil filter sandwich plate. Allowing multiple takeoffs. Send. There you go. I've done some good in the world, maybe. I hope the Ford owner didn't come too jealous about parking a nice Mark 1 next to an old Ford. What do we think? I think the Mark 1's not quite enough of a classic to be bothering that lovely old Ford. I don't know what it is, but it looks nice. Here we go. This is always good news. After being parked up since December 23, very pleasant surprise that the old girl passed the MOT only needing an Italian tune-up for the emissions, which she then sailed through. Yeah, the road tax is expensive. That's a clean looking car, that is. Congratulations to Steve Roden. Get it out, enjoy it for the summer. Yeah, we're starting to get the weather for a roadster, so fair play. And I do like the subtle little mods on that. That's nice. Seeking some 2000s inspirations. I was too young to get to know the car or buy any magazines when the Mark 1 first hit the road scene. Recently become obsessed with the period correct tuning culture from the late 90s, 2000s. I'm specifically looking for any digital archives or photos of old VW speed. I can't help with any of that. But that's cool that he wants to engross himself in that. I think I've got a couple of old-ish magazines, but not from the early 2000s, more recent. So it would be interesting to see if anyone has actually dug any of that stuff out. No, I'm too far zoomed in on that. Anyway, let's see what else. Ooh, don't like noises. Noise videos are always hard. I mean, certainly sounds like something's leaking boost to me. What else have we got? Looking at removing the whole ashtray and doing a neat USB hub. I've seen ones on eBay that have a gauge product more after the hidden OEM kind of look. This is interesting because this is modifying the Mark 1 to make it more usable than it was when it first came out. I like having a little USB just in the centre tunnel next to me there. That's quite handy. But yeah, there's a few options for that. I can't really. There's people that are way better qualified to answer about that. Let's have a look. Oh look, Pete Loden. Thank you for shouting me out on this one. Massive thanks to BWSTT. He just changed my cam belt water pump using his in-depth YouTube guide. It was actually ironic because Peter was doing it at the same time that I was fitting a cam belt kit as well. So yeah, that's cool. Wheel refurbished specialist. City powder coaters. They're nice and cheap in Birmingham. And they're doing an alright job for alright money, so hopefully that's helpful. Matthew Dicey. Look at this. I did see this post the other day and I thought I must remember to mention this. I'm glad that it's come up as I'm scrolling through. Aled Jones, you have built a wonderful Mark 1 TT. Your previous one was really nice, then obviously you got rid and you've spent time building this one up again. Really, really nice. Let's have a look. Yeah, look at that. And then there was another Mark 1 at the show as well. Looks nice. That's a nice colour green, that. It's pretty special. Oh, look at that for a build. That's cool. Can't do anything else with the space really, so why not? Yeah, that's a good look. Nice standard looking roadster. Cool. What else have we got? More from Aled Jones. I agree. If you've got air ride, you've got to air it out. Nath has been doing a lot of work on his the list of stuff that he's done to his car is endless. I believe we're going to call it stage 2 plus, because it's right at the high end of what you can do before you change to a hybrid turbo. I believe he's still in a standard turbo. He does list off on a few of his posts. He lists off the vast amount of upgrades that he's done, but needless to say, everything required to be done to gain, I think what's he at, 295 horsepower has been done. And it's not easy to get a real 295 horsepower out of these engines. You've got to do a lot, and he has done a heck of a lot. So maybe check out some of his posts. Like I say, across a few of the pages he goes into great detail about what he has done there. A couple of posts from him. Still rough around the edges, but not as rough as it was. Ben, that is quite tidy looking. Yeah, I do like a Morrow blue. Looks nice. The lads knew their old school cars too. My neighbour put around with his 2 teenage sons and Oud and Ardabat, this being a 3.2. Gave the keys to the eldest and let him start it up. That is great. Yeah, what more can I say? Petrolheads love passing on the bug to other people, and yeah, watching the kid just rev your engine because he just likes the noise, that's pretty cool. Right, what have we got time for, because I haven't got long left. Need this in Forza. I do agree that I've been disappointed. So I used to use a Assetto Corsa so that I could learn the Nürburgring, and the only car that I could get that was remotely close to the Mark 1 TT was like an A1, an S1, similar power and 4-wheel drive. Someone had made a V6 version of the TT. It kind of worked, but yeah, I just wanted a nice 225 in there, and it just did not exist. Joe Cordwell, you've seen many videos about people using snow foam. What's your preference? Top to bottom or bottom to top? You can always trust Joe for a bit of fun content. Joe, I go top to bottom, and I use Snowstorm from the Clay Cloth Company. Now, speaking of the Clay Cloth Company, we should do a little segue into a little sponsored section here. Yeah, the Clay Cloth Company are going to be offering exclusive discount just for TT News watchers, and just for this next week. If you want 20% off, if you spend £60 or more, then head over to the Clay Cloth website. I'm literally going to log in, I'm going to create that discount code right now. It will be TT News 20, and you'll be able to get 20% off your orders if you spend £60 or more. Spend some money, get some decent quality cleaning products ready for the summer. And yes, that Snowstorm is pucker. I'll just insert a picture here of me using it a couple of weeks ago to prep the car. There's loads of snow foam available on the market, but Snowstorm from the Clay Cloth Company trumps them all. Check that out. Right, a final bit of light-hearted view at this. Steve, you've been a little bit silly, but you've acknowledged it in the post. I've seen the post, and I know you, and you know me, and you know that I'm not being offensive by saying this. But why is everyone getting so confused by this simple little thing? I've already done a video about it, but let's just highlight it again. Everyone goes, oh no, my car is in this bracket here, this L bracket, and they get worried that they've got to spend £760 to tax their vehicle. What they haven't realised is this little star here, we go to here, includes cars with a figure over 225 grams, but that were registered before the 23rd of March 2006, and that's the key part there. The majority, well, all 225s were registered before then. Most Quattro Sports were registered before them. Some were registered just after them, and some V6s were registered just after that point as well. But 98-99% of the cars that are out there, the Mark 1 TTs, will fall into the lower bracket, so it's only $445 a year. And if you're lucky and you've got a W-Reg TT like I have, it's even cheaper. I think that's about £370 a year, because it falls prior to this rule set. So yeah, there you go. Anyway, I've got to wrap it up there. That was this week's TT News. I promise I'll be a little bit more prepared next week with more stories, and like I say, we'll have stuff about the MOTs, etc. But yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. Cheers guys.